So, one of the best ways to become a really strong meditator is this is going to sound a little counterintuitive, but you need to get excited about it. Any task that you're excited about, you're going to be more likely to do. You're going to maintain your enthusiasm and you're going to put a lot more effort into it. So, this tends to be easy in meditations where you have a practice text, a sadhana, where it's 10 pages or 20 pages. You got a visualization, you got a mantra, you got a lot going on. You're making offerings and all these other things. You need to do a certain number of mantras. There's a motivation that you need, a certain number of repetitions, or a certain number of sessions, or 108, or whatever. And then after you complete the sessions, the mantras, there's generally another thing you do, a fire puja or perhaps the 6 yogas. So you got a lot of goals and motivations to keep you going. And that's what we want in our meditation. That's a very helpful thing in our meditation, to develop some sustaining goal. Then when it gets difficult, when you think, I don't know if I want to do this anymore, well, you can always use that goal to help yourself push through to that point, to arrive at the goal that you've set before you give up. So, and a lot of times when you're getting to that point, something else will happen. You'll find a deepening, and then push through it a little bit without a goal, just to see how it feels having gotten to the goal, if you've developed some strength in your practice. And just having that goal, though, before you arrive can help you get to that point. It can get you to the cushion on a daily basis, which is extremely important. So if you're doing shamatha, just basic meditation, learning to focus the mind and so forth, the best goal is to do a session-based goal. Do sessions of 10 to 30 minutes, depending on where you are in your practice, or longer if you feel more comfortable with that. It can also be a good idea to get a randomized timer, so you don't know exactly how long the session's going to be. Otherwise, you're waiting until the exact minute. But if you can set it between 20 and 30 minutes, say, if that's your rough session length, then it'll go off at 26 minutes. But you won't know. It might go to 30, it might end at 21, so you don't watch the clock. It's good to take that out of your mind. Or you can just say, I'm going to do 10 minutes plus, and then keep going until, as long as you feel like it afterwards, another 5 or 6 minutes. Commit to that, to a period of time to doing that. Probably at least 3 months and up to a year, I'd say. And it probably better to say try and do 10 to 15 minutes a day for a year than try and do an hour a day, and it's too much for you unless you've been meditating a lot. An hour is a pretty long time. The point is not to just say, though, I made it through a year. The point is to develop your daily practice so that at the end of the year you'll just keep going, because it's become effortless. It's just something you do. That sustained practice will lead to good results if you are diligent in your practice, if you properly establish the best conditions for improvement. Those are the conditions we're going to go over in this course, especially in terms of the 9 stages and understanding how those occur and arise in shamatha, and how to use the natural abilities of your mind. And to develop those, they will create good meditation. You're also going to learn what to look for, what the problems you're going to encounter are, and how to recognize those problems. You'll learn how to notice when those problems are in potential, not that they've arisen, but that they can arise because of certain things happening in the mind, when they're just a sort of seed, but they're not overtaking the mind. This sounds a little complicated, and in fact it kind of is. The mind, though, is a lot more complicated than people realize, and meditation is much more active than people realize. Most people think it's passive. You just sit there, right? But that's not true. It's not passive at all. It's an extremely engaged mind, but it's a mind that is stably engaged. It's not flipping from one thing to another. It's focused on a single thing, the object of meditation. And that is meditation, when the mind is stably engaged with what it's focusing on, without a conceptual stream of thoughts. It's not thinking about something with a bunch of words. It's just looking at something. Maybe there are some thoughts, but they aren't the central aspect of it. So the next point is to try and improve only one aspect of your meditation at a time. So one of the things we'll be working on, for example, is called the antidotes. Faith, exertion, shinjong, mindfulness, mental awareness, etc. Those are the antidotes. They are things that counter other tendencies. Things will be applied to the problem of meditation. You don't want to be trying to do them all at once. It's too much and won't work. You want to work on one of these things in a session or a few sessions or for a longer period of time, preferably over a week or so. And then by really working it very one-pointedly with focus, then it becomes a part of your meditative style. It becomes a tool you know how to use. You know, a carpenter doesn't pick up the saw and go, how do I use this thing? Just picks it up, saws, doesn't even think about it. That's where you want to get to with these tools. That's where you want to use your mind in that way. So you'll develop your faith, meaning your trust, basically, that meditation works. You'll develop your confidence that you can do it, that you're capable of doing it. Faith in what meditation is, in what it can do. Faith that this system can work, that it can help you find some relief from whatever you're experiencing in life that's painful. That faith, because it's based on study, is not a sort of flimsy faith. It's not light. It's not a blind faith. It's knowing. You've studied it. You've seen it. You've met people who have achieved this. It's a seeing. It's some clarity to it. It's an understanding that this can work and that you can apply yourself and achieve that result. So faith has that sense that you not only believe without having proof, you have evidence. You understand and have faith that you can get there. And that's true. You can. Anyone can. It just takes time to apply yourself. In the next section, we'll be working on exertion, and this will be to overcome laziness. We're going to get to that starting in the next section.